Mastering Personal Finance begins with understanding how to manage your money with intention, a practical and sustainable. Budget is not just a spreadsheet. It's a reflection of your priorities, values, habits, and goals. Among the various budgeting methods available today, 3 stand out for their widespread use, simplicity, and proven effectiveness. Zero-based budgeting, the 50-30-20 rule, and the envelope method. Each of these strategies offers unique strengths and suits different lifestyles, personalities, and financial goals. By exploring these methods in depth, understanding how they work, and evaluating their pros and cons, you can choose the right approach, or combination of approaches, that aligns with your financial behavior and aspirations. Zero-based budgeting is a method rooted in assigning every dollar a specific role. The concept is simple yet powerful. Your total income minus your total expenses should equal 0 by the end of each month. In other words, you plan exactly what you will do with every dollar you earn, so that nothing is left idle or unassigned. This doesn't mean you spend all your income. It means that savings, investments, debt payments, bills, and discretionary spending are all included in the plan. The philosophy behind zero-based budgeting is rooted in intentionality and control. It is especially effective for individuals or families who want to stop wondering where their money went and instead start telling their money exactly where to go. To implement zero-based budgeting, you begin each month with a clean slate, accounting for every expected dollar of income. Then, you allocate funds to each category based on your needs, obligations, and goals. These categories often include rent or mortgage, utilities, transportation, groceries, insurance, debt repayment, savings, and fun or leisure. If your income is $4,000, you might allocate $200 for rent, $400 for groceries, $600 for debt payments, $500 for savings, and so on until the entire $4,000 is distributed. If your allocations fall short or exceed your income, you revise the budget until the total expenses equal exactly your income. The strength of zero-based budgeting lies in its clarity and precision. Every dollar is accounted for, making it far less likely for money to be wasted or spent impulsively. It encourages proactive decision-making and forces you to think through your priorities. However, the level of detail it requires can also be its main challenge. It demands time, focus, and consistency to track and adjust spending. Those who are new to budgeting may find the structure overwhelming at first, especially if their income is variable or if they're not used to categorizing and tracking every expense. Still, the discipline it fosters often leads to long-term financial awareness and control that few other methods can match. On the other end of the spectrum lies the 50-30-20 rule, a more flexible and simplified budgeting model designed to offer structure without overwhelming detail. This method divides your after-tax income into 3 broad categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayment. Needs include essentials like rent, groceries, transportation, and insurance. Wants encompass entertainment, dining out, travel, and other discretionary items. The remaining 20% is allocated to financial growth, such as building an emergency fund, contributing to retirement, or paying down debt faster. What makes the 50-30-20 rule appealing is its ease of use. You don't need to track dozens of small categories or manually assign every dollar. Instead, it provides a high-level guideline that helps you maintain financial balance while still enjoying your money. It is particularly effective for beginners, busy professionals, or those who want to build a habit of budgeting without becoming bogged down in detail. For someone with a $3,000 monthly income, this rule would allocate $1,500 toward needs, $900 toward wants, and $600 toward savings and debt reduction. These ratios can be adjusted slightly based on personal goals, but the core idea remains: strike a healthy balance between living for today and preparing for tomorrow. While the simplicity of the 50-30-20 rule is its greatest strength, it can also be a limitation. The broad categories may not provide enough structure for those facing financial challenges, such as high-interest debt, irregular income, or very tight budgets. For such individuals, more granular control, like that offered by zero-based budgeting, may be necessary. Additionally, the 30% allocation for wants can lead to overspending if the line between wants and needs becomes blurred. Still, the 50-30-20 rule serves as an excellent starting point and can be adapted as a financial foundation before progressing to more detailed budgeting systems. The envelope method offers a highly tactile and visual way of managing money, particularly useful for those who struggle with digital tools or want to limit impulse spending. The original method involves dividing your cash into physical envelopes labeled by category, such as groceries, gas, clothing, and entertainment. Once the money in a particular envelope is gone, you can no longer spend in that category for the rest of the month. This strict limit encourages discipline, intentionality, and planning ahead. It's particularly effective in curbing overspending in variable expense categories where people tend to lose control. While the envelope method originated with cash, it has been modernized with digital tools and apps that simulate the same experience electronically. Apps allow you to create digital envelopes and track spending in real time, combining the control of envelope budgeting with the convenience of electronic payments. Some banks and fintech platforms even allow you to segment your account balances into subcategories, mimicking envelopes digitally. The biggest advantage of the envelope method is its ability to create hard boundaries. It removes the temptation to overspend because you simply cannot exceed the set amount. It works especially well for categories where you are prone to emotional or unconscious spending, such as dining out, online shopping, or hobbies. This method also brings heightened awareness to your spending habits, helping you see just how quickly certain expenses add up. However, the traditional envelope method, based on cash, is becoming less practical in an increasingly digital world. It may also be inconvenient for people who rely on credit cards for rewards, travel, or purchase protection. The digital adaptations help bridge this gap, but they require the same level of discipline and ongoing tracking. When comparing these three methods, it becomes clear that each one serves a specific personality or situation. Zero-based budgeting is ideal for those who crave structure, want maximum control, and have clear financial goals they're pursuing aggressively. The 50-30-20 rule is well suited for those seeking balance and simplicity, especially individuals with a stable income who want to ensure they're not neglecting savings while still enjoying life. The envelope method is especially effective for visual learners, overspenders, or people managing a tight cash flow who need strong boundaries to stay disciplined. In practice, many people find that combining elements from each method works best. For example, you might use the 50-30-20 rule as a general framework, but apply zero-based budgeting to your 50% needs category to better manage essential bills. Or you might budget digitally using zero-based planning, but adopt the envelope philosophy for problem areas like dining out or entertainment to avoid overindulging. Flexibility is key. The best budgeting method is not the one that looks best on paper. It's the one you'll actually stick to. Regardless of which system you use, the true power of budgeting comes not from the method, but from the mindset. Budgeting is not about depriving yourself or rigidly following rules. It's about being intentional with your money. It gives you the ability to prepare for emergencies, reduce financial stress, invest in your future, and enjoy the present without guilt. When you budget with purpose, you become proactive rather than reactive with your finances. You're no longer at the mercy of surprise expenses or paycheck-to-paycheck cycles. You are in control. Ultimately, budgeting is not one size fits all. Your lifestyle, financial goals, personality, and income level all influence which method will work best for you. Start by trying one method for at least a month. Reflect on what feels natural, what feels frustrating, and what delivers the results you want. As you grow more confident in managing your money, don't be afraid to adapt, evolve, and personalize your approach. Whether you thrive on the control of zero-based budgeting, the simplicity of the 50-30-20 rule, or the discipline of the envelope system, what matters most is that you begin and stay consistent. Budgeting, like any habit, takes time to develop, but once mastered, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for creating financial security and freedom.